idea to import a Mercedes from Europe? This is a great topic that I talk about a lot privately, but I haven't discussed it on YouTube. And so some of the cars we're talking about importing from Europe are Geländewagens, like a 460 or a 463, or weird 123 models that I think are often not known or well appreciated in the United States, as well as things like the MB100 van, which is one of my favorite vehicles of all time. The MB100 was built in Spain. It used 615 or 616 engines. It's just a phenomenal little van. I think eventually they used 601 engines, and it's a kind of a shame we didn't have them here. But, you know, Americans like things that'll travel over 60 miles an hour. And the MB100 is not a speed demon, but it's a beautifully designed, spacious, reliable little van. And I hope some of you check it out. So let's look at the different vehicles people are importing. Diesel Geländewagens are a big one. The really big one that I think is going to be hot soon, because it's pretty much at that 25-year mark now, is the G300 turbo diesel. They just turned 25. There's also the 300GE, G320. Earlier examples like the 280GD, 280GE, 240GD, 300GD. All these trucks are really nice trucks. And the thing is, I think in some countries in Europe, like Spain and Italy, people just don't have the budget to really maintain or appreciate them. And so it's not really the worst idea to go there and try to buy one, because you can buy one at a discount. You know, for the most part, I find that classic car culture in Europe is pretty good, but you know, in the United States, I think that people will give these things good homes. But there are definitely some caveats, and they become even more stringent when you look at passenger cars like the 123 series or 126 series. So a lot of Europeans love to import US market cars into Europe. Now, one of the reasons this is because typically we don't let our cars rot away as badly. I mean, that is inevitable in some places, but down here in the Southeast or out west, like, the cars just are not rotten like they are in Germany. Another thing to keep in mind is that a lot of Europeans also got kind of bored with their very base version 123, 201, 107 models with wind-up windows and steel wheels. They like our better equipped cars. But a lot of Americans have a fascination with the stripped, kind of plain cloth seat European versions of these cars, where every single option was a la carte. So you might have a car with front power windows and rear manual windows and cloth seats and a manual sunroof that might have automatic climate control. Or you might have a car that has steel wheels but a leather interior. Or you might have a 107 280 SL with a 5-speed manual transmission, bunt wheels, heated seats, but no air conditioning. You might also have something like, I'm having fun with this, a 500 SEC that has steel wheels, cloth seats, a very beautiful Cabernet red metallic paint job, no sunroof, but a Webasto cabin heater, because somebody lived in a very cold climate. So this underscores the dangers of a lot of European market cars. They have to be checked for rust, because unlike a lot of people that we think would have bought a Mercedes back then, because these were like the mainstream cars in Europe at the time, like people just bought them, they used them as cars. They were disposable. They didn't protect them from road salt. They just used the heck out of them. They'd go get another one in 7 years. You know, you go drive your 123 for 12, 15 years and you go buy a 124. And I think that the whole problem with the European mentality is, this costs too much to maintain, I'm going to use it up, and then I'll just buy some eco box. after that, because that's the cheapest car that's available that gets the most gas mileage. And I think that a lot of Europeans, unfortunately, have been more, unless you're Swiss or you're like from London, they've been backed into sort of a corner where they can't afford to enjoy or maintain or preserve a classic car. The houses are too small. There's no garages, nobody to fix them. There's too much salt on the roads. You know, the taxes are too high. The inspection is too stringent. I mean, it's just crazy, you know, how basically the only thing that protected these cars from destruction were certain climates in Spain and Italy or maybe parts of France. And in those countries, especially if you go to small villages or small towns, you'll see these older cars driving around, but they're not maintained that well. So plan on doing a lot of maintenance work. Now, there are countries where people maintain these cars well, like Switzerland. Switzerland is one where if you weren't ready to fix the oil leak, you better junk the car, because if that oil leak requires, you know, Hans pulling the motor, completely disassembling it, machining every plane on it, replacing the pistons, cylinder liners, etc., just to reduce the blow-by to the minimum because that car drips, must be done. It must be done. It's absolutely necessary. Okay, we cannot allow any little oil leak because this will mess up our pristine Alps. I don't know if it's like that in the French part of Switzerland, but I don't know. But anyway, the point is, buying a car in Europe is a lot like buying a mail order bride. Unless you really go and inspect what you're getting, you may not be happy with the result, and there's a high chance that you won't be. And it's also kind of a difficult situation for both parties, because the seller is not going to send you your money back for a car that they worked so hard to acquire, ship, and export, and do all the paperwork on and everything. And the buyer is, you know, oh, okay, I'm going to cry. I made a risky, bad decision and I got burned. You know, we see this quite a bit. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. Try to vet any car you buy, even if it's overseas. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.